Yanks and Money beef on Twitter, Falcons fumble the spring split, and Big Goose is back. Yet again. My name is Anton and you're watching This Week on Rocket League. This is of course the series where we take a look at all the crazy and stupid things that this game has had to offer during the past 7 days, and somehow this game never fails to surprise me.
Hey, yeah.
I'll get it back from you.
If we can just get that in real quick, that'd be
Well played Alves and Cuckoo! And Choupo-Moting has stopped it! Unbelievable!
But now, let's check out what's been happening this week. The spring split for the RLCS kicked off this past weekend with the North American Regional. FaZe Clan, being one of the favorites of course, beat their opponents in the first round and then moved on to sweep Space Station. And then obviously the number one team is FaZe Clan. Like obviously these guys have to be like at least 1 or 2. They are just too good. FaZe Clan, being one of the favorites of course, then went on to make a lower bracket run. They are just too good. Version 1 was another one of the favorites to win the regional after their acquisition of Daniel in the transfer window, and they started off convincingly with a sweep over Shopify Rebellion. They then moved on to the upper bracket quarterfinals. No way I jinxed all of NA. I didn't know the V in V1 stands for We Still Suck. NRG and Dignitas had a rematch of the Season 5 finals in what is the Rocket League equivalent of 2 former world heavyweight champions getting into a fight in the nursing home. This time, however, NRG came out victorious, which gave NRG fans all over the world hope for a better future. The future, however, had different plans, but hey, at least they're not any worse than FaZe Clan. G2 were forced down to the lower bracket after a shocking reverse sweep from SUP in the first round. They had to now complete the entire lower bracket if they wanted to make it to the final, which they started off with a narrow win against Koi, after which they absolutely schooled FaZe Clan like mentioned before. They then swept Shopify Rebellion, who were just fresh off beating NRG in the previous round. Next they faced Optic, who had just been dropped down by Complexity in the upper bracket semifinals, and in the battle for top 4, G2 lived up to its name and only won 2 games. And they barely even won those. Now, Fury is a team that has been struggling pretty much ever since they moved to North America, and this regional didn't start off great for them either, as they had to face Chenji in the first round. Fury then started their lower bracket run with a sweep over Dignitas, then continuing the sweeping as they swept version 1 in the next series, and then continued the sweeping again as they swept SUP in the next series. It looks like Fury are finally back. I mean, to be fair, 56th is better than anything they've got so far this season. Space Station of course surprised everyone after losing Daniel by reverse sweeping FaZe Clan in the upper bracket quarterfinals. They then faced Chenji, which, well, let's just say if it was a best of 1 series, they would have won. Team Vitality players Sen and Radosin were of course watching the match at home when they decided to test out their casting skills.
Nice, upper on teacher. Nice, he tries urban. Nice try. Oxer for the pass. LG!
SSG then dropped down and beat Furia, like was just mentioned, and moved on to face Optic for a spot in the top 3, which, well, let's just say if it was a best of 1 series, they would have won. Meanwhile, in the upper bracket final, Shinji faced Complexity in a repeat of the last regionals final. Before the match, however, Noli had this to say about his opponents.
Okay, we got one Complexity. Oh, that's a problem. Oh, Noli says no. No for Noli.
I say it because, like, okay, they've performed, like, so far, right, phenomenal in groups in Swiss. They always go 3-0 or 2-1, right? But whenever they get to the better teams, they don't win.
Why does that sound familiar?
We know that you're playing Fury now. Just give me a couple of thoughts on them.
We've beat them twice already. We're going to be in the heads. They're going to remember the past two losses to us.
4-0?
4-1.
Oh my god, how did he know? Shinji ended up bouncing right back to the final after absolutely destroying Optic in the lower bracket final. They were now ready to face Complexity, and they weren't gonna let the series go to game 7 again, because this time they lost in 6. I've never seen anyone be so good at jinxing themselves. After beating SUP in the lower bracket round 3, Yanks and Money started beefing on Twitter, as Money accused Fury of trolling in scrims, and that with this mentality they're gonna miss another major, to which Yanks responded by saying that SUP aren't going to any majors, and then posting a picture of his girlfriend and car. I didn't know Yanks was still in middle school. Just imagine Yanks going to his girlfriend like, "Hey babe, quick, we need to go outside and take a picture with my car so I can win a Twitter argument." No, but seriously, this tweet was so corny, it gave a Midwestern farmer an erection. But moving on to Oceania, no, give me a second. Over in Oceania, Small Ducks' Big Goose comeback split didn't get the best start as they faced Ground Zero immediately in the first round. They did manage to sweep Riot in the lower bracket and move on to get smacked by Tsurani in the next round. This was then followed by the news that another Big Goose legend, Schmoopernator, has brought back his version of the team, Give boost. Now Toby just needs to make his own goose team and then I'll be happy. But now let's get back to some less relevant teams. As Power was finally able to beat Pioneers in the upper bracket semifinals for the first time since the fall split, they then continued their big comeback regional by beating Ground Zero in a close game 7. Ground Zero of course dropped down to the lower bracket final where they made quick work of Pioneers and proceeded to sweep Power. Didn't even call a timeout. And with that, Power player Torsos has become the first player ever to win an RLCS regional in 7 different years, beating out Garrett G with 6. Over in Middle East and North Africa, Falcons suffered an upset by the hands of Infinity in the upper bracket semifinals after taking a 4-1 beating. They've been here before though, so I'm sure they'll bounce back. This is actually the first time ever that this Sandrock/Falcons roster hasn't made it to the finals in MENA, and with that, Rule 1 finally had the chance to make the number 1 spot in the MENA rankings. Theoretically, Rule 1 can lose both the next 2 finals to Falcons and still be guaranteed a major spot. I hope I didn't jinx them. But now moving on to the regionals happening this weekend. Over in EU, these are the teams competing for the first regional championship of the split, and let's take a quick look at how it's been going so far. Pretty average EU regional to be honest. South America will feature these teams competing for glory. Can Ninjas in Pajamas make a comeback? Asia Pacific will feature these teams, with Elevate looking to make a comeback after missing the major last split. And last but not least, Sub-Saharan Africa will feature Limitless and the others. And to cap off esports for today, Gamers8 announced the invited teams for the tournament this summer, with Carmine Corp and Team Liquid from Europe, Genji Face and Furia from NA, Ninjas in Pajamas, Team Secret and Furia from South America, Pioneers and Ground Zero from Oceania, Elevate and Gaming Gladiators from Asia Pacific, Limitless from SSA, and of course, Falcons and Rule 1 from Middle East and North Africa. But now, some more silly stuff. Reddit user Honest Demand 4680 got the most insane triple demo in a game this week. To be honest, the best part was when this teammate almost fluffed the goal. But now it's time for a clip of the week, in affiliation with NordVPN. Each week you guys submit your clips to the AntonTheKicker Discord. The top 5 are then voted on by the members and have a chance at winning 1000 credits. So if you want to submit your own clips or vote for who makes the top 5 for one of these videos, you can do so on my Discord server. Link in the description. Congrats to Greasy for winning last week's contest with this double reset air dribble. And before we reveal the top 5, let's look at some honorable mentions. Continuum to 69th hit this ceiling musty wall read in training. Alex hit this crazy redirect in Heatseeker. The mind games in Andyman's 1v1 lobby were on point. Steezy had the worst day of his life. And before we reveal the top 5, Kirks hit the nastiest flick in 1v1 overtime. But now it's time to reveal the top 5. Like mentioned before, these were voted by the Discord members. MK17 hit the ceiling double tap off of a teammate's bump in rank 3s. Young MarYoda did this demo fake in Heatseeker. JCMJM hit this techie 1v2 double tap in a 2s match. Jacob M scored this off the wall flip reset in a cheesy 2-1v1 lobby. And last but not least, Bearded Man hit a 94 kph off the bar coxier pinch to get the Brazil in a 1v1. And that's the top 5. As always, there will be a YouTube poll on the channel. The person with the most votes after 24 hours wins 1000 credits. NordVPN gives you access to over 5400 servers across 60 different countries around the world. Can watch your favorite Netflix show in your current location? Well, it only takes one click to change that. Look, now I'm in Denmark. I myself have been using NordVPN for a while now, and I truly believe it's a great product, and that's why I've teamed up with NordVPN to get you a discount plus 1 month free on your 2-year plan. Just go to nordvpn.com/AntonTheKicker or use the link at the top of the description. A VPN is one of the essentials for any internet user these days, and using the link in the description would really help out the channel as well. Welcome, my children. That was weird. Let me do that again. But that's it for this week's episode. Hope you enjoyed it. If you made it this far, please click the like button down below. It would always help out a ton. But without further ado, let's get to Anton around the world. And today, let me find a comment. Surely we see Scotland in the next Anton around the world. So we have a comment from Voltix Ghost, who wants me to check out Luxembourg. And right now I have 31.3 thousand subscribers, which in Luxembourg makes us the 2nd biggest city, ahead of Esch-sur-Alzette. That's definitely not how you pronounce it. Esch-sur-Alzette. I don't know. And we're only beaten by Luxembourg City, which has 76,420. Huh, that's the meme number. I'm joking, of course. We're gonna do Scotland as well. And in Scotland, we are just below Motherwell. Wait, I need to focus my inner Scottish accent. Danke. We're just below Motherwell, but we have beaten Rutherglen. This is Motherwell. All my homies hate Motherwell. Alright, anyway, become a member. It's only 99 cents a month, and it really helps out the channel a ton. Follow me on Twitter and on Instagram. I'll see you guys later. Bye. And shout out to Gerardo Daniel Rodriguez Gonzalez and Stock.